is that the way you carry out Phillips Perron is similar to what you carry out when you are carrying out Augmented Dickey. So what you do is that instead of choosing Augmented Dickey, you choose Phillips Perron. And then you put your variable here, the same way we did for ADF. So in this case, we are interested with interest. You just choose interest and you click OK, and then you get the results for Phillips Perron test. And you can see, similar to ADF, the p-value is 0.000. And we use the z to explain the results. And you can see, you compare the test statistics with the critical values. So the result is exactly the same. It is exactly the same with that of the ADF. Even the explanation is the same. So you compare the test statistics here with the critical values, and then you make the same conclusion. If we test for stock, we just put stock there, the same way we are doing with the Augmented Dickey, and then you click OK, and again, then you get your results. You can see for Phillips Perron, the same way we observed with the Augmented Dickey, this one is 0.9027. It is greater than 0.05. In the case of ADF, we had 0.9052 in the case of Augmented Dickey. And you can see the results are almost the same. This one is 0.9052. This one is 0.9027. So the smaller is the difference is very minimal. So, and if you go ahead and you test for the differenced stock, you get the same results. So after differencing, the series has become stationary. So you use the same concept to explain the results in the case of Phillips Perron and Augmented Dickey. You compare the test statistics with the critical values. You use the same hypothesis. You use the same decision criteria. So it is as simple as that. So the only thing that you change is that instead of using Augmented Dickey, you can use Phillips Perron, you can use DFGLS, you can use Barrett's. Any other method you use, you apply the same concept to explain the results.